Good morning. It's time for Two Guys on Sports. I'm Larry Hazer.
I'm Dick Olson. Good morning, Larry.
Good morning, Dick. And a lot of high school football to talk about here today as we're into week three coming up this week.
Yeah, but, pretty much everybody's starting their conference seasons.
Yes.
Now,
But
we'll see.
Week two had some big performances, and we got to start over at Spencer Columbus in Pittsville.
Jack Haper, I don't know what's in the water over there. But against Pittsville last week, Jack had 33 carries for 441 yards and 7 touchdowns. For the season now, Larry, Jack has 62 carries for 611 yards and 9 touchdowns. He is the leading rusher in the state of Wisconsin as we speak. So,
wow, that's quite the accomplishment there for Mr. Haper.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. He goes up against Stratford this week, so we'll see how things are a little different or whatever. But, wow, is he off to a start? Man.
Yeah,
Spencer Columbus putting some points on the board. So.
Yeah, and we look at you mentioned them going up Stratford, and Stratford's a team now that's 0-2.
0-2, tough schedule. They started off at Mosinee. They lost by a touchdown. But I'll tell you what, Edgar really 14-0. And Edgar, looks like Edgar is just the same old Edgar, Larry. Defense and special teams, and they still got a street at quarterback and a butt at running back, and so
things never change.
The formula is there again for Coach Sins. He's got the number 1 team in D6 right now. So another game that we were at last week, and we thought maybe it'd be a little better performance from Neillsville Granton, but they got beat pretty bad. I'll tell you what, we had talked in the pregame show the game was going to be decided at the line of scrimmage between the offensive and defensive lines, and from play one, Loyal dominated.
Yeah,
they're
big.
Play one till the last play. They're big. They pretty much pushed Neillsville Granton around the way they wanted to, and a very powerful running attack led with a lot of backs carrying the ball too, by the way. And but they looked pretty good. Neillsville just couldn't get anything going, and by the time they pretty much had to abandon their running attack because they had the ball for one play and they were down 14-0. So it's tried to pass, and of course that when the other team knows that's coming, that led to some turnovers, and things just snowballed. So
it just went from there. Worst to bad.
Yep.
Or bad to worst, I should say.
But Loyal off to a pretty nice start.
Yeah, I was going to say Loyal's doing really well.
Their first 2 games in the Central Wisconsin Large are against Marathon and Colby, which might be winnable for them.
Yeah.
After that, though, they've got Amherst, Wittenberg, Spencer Columbus, Wyawega, Fremont, and Stratford. So it might be hard for them to get playoff wins, but we'll see.
I tell you, the way they looked the other night, they looked.
I was very impressed with Jake Littner at quarterback. He's a first-time starter, but I believe he was 8 for 8 the other night, and he really controlled their offense well. And of course, Sandelier is a stud at fullback, and then this Isaac Zabel at sophomore running back showed me something they haven't had before, and that was speed.
Yeah,
they don't, and he is fast. So,
and you're running behind that big line. That makes it a lot easier to do stuff.
Exactly. Yeah, and they do a lot of things. You've got Stiglitz in the backfield, and he can do a lot of things back there. So
right,
and then of course you got Tolfar at another freak at the end. So.
Yeah, so I'm kind of looking for some good things maybe out of that Loyal Greenwood team this year.
Too. I think I'm not going to say the Central Wisconsin Large is down because Amherst is 2-0, ranked number. I believe they're number 2 in the state, and but Wittenberg has not won a game yet. Stratford hasn't won a game. And Wyawega Fremont is 1-1. So maybe there's something there for them this year. So
all right. So that may be a team to watch. This year, Loyal Greenwood. Also, I think maybe that Spencer Columbus team might be another team.
You just talked about Jason Gorse talking at the coaches show, and he said. They're not going to sneak. Nobody's going to sneak up on Spencer Columbus this year.
No. And Spencer Columbus, as we mentioned, at Stratford this week, and Loyal Greenwood at Marathon this week for high school football. We have Elk Mound and Neillsville Granton to start the Cloverbell Conference season. How do you see that?
Yeah, Elk Mound coming up. They have a 1-point loss to Spooner, and they lost by a touchdown to St. Croix Central. So. The Mounders usually come in and they want to run the ball. So
from what I hear, they got a lot of kids.
Yep. And I don't know if they got a lot of experience back, but you can pretty much bet on it that they're going to try to run the ball. So Niels is going to have to win the line of scrimmage. That's all there is to it. So
they'll be without one of their linemen. Adam Hazer is out with a concussion.
It sounds like Marcus Luchterhahn and Caden Hartung will be good to go. So
Okay,
so
all right.
talking to people, but yeah, Adam, of course, with the concussion, and that's protocol. He can't play this week.
Right.
So,
yeah.
So.
Any other games that kind of stand out to you
Let's see. I had
this week?
Fall Creek at Mondovi. I think Mondovi is ranked number 4 in D6. Fall Creek with a good ball club this year, and then Auburndale at Edgar.
I looked at that one too.
Auburndale off to a nice start, and we'll see what happens going up to Edgar. So.
All right. Marshfield, they travel to Rice Lake to begin the Wisconsin Valley Conference season.
Yeah, it just gets more daunting for the Tigers.
Yeah.
Rice Lake ranked, I believe, 2 or 3 in D2, and but we'll see what happens there. It's Tigers struggling off the bat, but maybe they can get her going up there. So
yeah. 8-man football. Gilman, they have Frederick, and Gilman's just dominating everybody so far.
Absolutely. I look at the 8-man. Good to see Wausau Newman back in the ranked 5th. So they've been down a couple years, and of course 8-man Gilman 1, McDonald 2, Newman 5th, Athens 8th. So good start there. So.
All right, so that's high school football coming up this week. It should be another good week. For high school football. As you said, they get the conference season.
Season, going to be a little cooler than it was. So
more football weather.
Yes,
football-like weather.
Yes,
I should say.
Absolutely. And of course, it's kind of nice first home game for Neilsville too. So,
that's coming up Friday night. You can hear that game on 92.7 WPKG starting at 6:45 with coverage for that one, and the Marshfield Rice Lake game on 92.3 FM WOSQ tomorrow night. High school volleyball, Neilsville in action tonight. They travel to Edgar.
Yep. And then they are a part of a huge invitational Saturday, Larry, at Marshall Columbus.
Okay.
And I think Marshall Columbus is going to show off that new field house because they've got 16 volleyball teams coming there on Saturday. Arcadia, Assumption, Auburndale, Chippewa Falls, Colby, Colfax, Columbus itself, Cooley Christian, Regis, Montello, North Fond du Lac, St. Mary Springs, Stanley Boyd, Sturgeon Bay, Sun Prairie West, and Neilsville coming to Columbus. So I would imagine that new field house is going to get a look-see. So
it's going to get some. It's going to get some use.
Yep, you betcha. So.
Now that it's there, definitely going to get some use.
And Warrior volleyballers are at Colby Tuesday, and Colby off to a very nice start in volleyball too. So,
Speaking of Colby, the Neilsville cross-country team is going to be there on Saturday.
Yeah, and that's about a 16-team big invitational there. Abbey, Colby, Columbus Catholic, Faith Christian, Fall Creek, Flambeau, Loyal, McDonald, Owen Withy, Regis, Spencer, Stanley Boyd, and Thorpe, along with Colby. And that's
those weekend ones are usually big ones.
Yep. And everybody likes going to them. And, you got the boy and 2 races with the boys and the girls. So.
All right. One other high school note here. Pittsville is going to have a new boys basketball coach.
I see Mark Dennison stepping down after about, I believe, 10 years.
Yes. They're going to have who was the girls coach back in 2013 to 2016, Stephen Hadfield.
Yep. At one time, Stephen Hadfield was at Granton.
Yes, he was.
Yes,
so him and his wife coordinate the Pittsville youth basketball program.
So interesting. Just interesting timing on Mark Dennison's part. But who knows? You never know. So
been there a while.
Absolutely.
10 years.
Yeah, and of course, I believe it's his son or his brother is the head coach at Marshall, Dan Denniston. So.
Yeah, I don't know how they all work in there.
I believe it's his brother because Noel Denniston was their father.
Oh, okay. All right.
And Noel Denniston was a basketball coach at Pittsville many moons ago.
Yes. All right, that'll get us to where are they now here on the show today.
Okay, Larry, I am staying in Neilsville this week, and I am going to talk about Callan Stittelberg. And Callan is a 2007 graduate of Neilsville High School, and he is the son of Mark and Sherry Stittelberg. In the fall, Callan was a 4-year letter winner on the Neilsville Granton football team. His freshman year, the Warriors were 4-5 on the season. Callan had 8 tackles on the season. His sophomore year, the Warriors were 1-8. Callan had 5 receptions for 64 yards and 1 touchdown. On defense, he had 24 tackles with 3 TFLs. His junior year, Neilsville Granton was 2-7. He had 3 receptions for 61 yards and 1 touchdown. On defense, he had 85 tackles with 10 TFLs and 5 sacks. He was a first-team selection on the Clover All-Conference defensive team. His senior year, the Warriors were 6-4 on the season, qualifying for the WIA Division IV playoffs, where they lost in Level 1 to Durand. Callan had 19 receptions for 248 yards and 3 touchdowns. On defense, he had 119 tackles with 12 TFLs and 5 sacks, and he was a first-team selection on the Clarabelle Conference All-Conference defensive team. In the winter, Callan was a 4-year letter winner on the Neillsville Greenwood wrestling team. His freshman year, wrestling at 160 pounds, Callan was 8-4 on the season. His sophomore year, wrestling at 160 pounds, Callan was 10-4 in the season, but his season was cut short by a shoulder injury. His junior year, wrestling at 171 pounds, Callan was 39-8 on the season. He was Clarabelle Conference champion at 171 pounds and a sectional qualifier. His senior year, wrestling at 171 pounds, Callan was 12-2 on the season, but his season was cut short by a shoulder injury. In the spring, Callan was a 4-year letter winner on the Neillsville baseball team. His freshman year, Neillsville was 14-8 on the season, losing to Aquinas in the regionals. Callan batted .245 with 3 RBIs on the season. His sophomore year, the Warriors were 15-7 on the season, losing to Durand in the regionals. Callan batted .272 with 12 RBIs. His junior year, Neillsville was 16-6 on the season. They were Clarabelle East champs, losing in the regionals to Viroqua. Callan batted .278 on the season with 14 RBIs, and he was an honorable mention selection on the Clarabelle East All-Conference team. His senior year, Neillsville was 17-3 on the season. They were Clarabelle East champions, losing to Bloomer in the regional finals 8-7 in 8 innings. Callan batted .288 with 18 RBIs and was an honorable mention selection on the Clarabelle East All-Conference team. After graduation, Callan enrolled at UW-Eau Claire and joined the Blue Gold football team. His freshman year, the Blue Golds were 6-4 on the season. Callan had 6 tackles on the season. His sophomore year, Eau Claire was 6-4 on the season. Callan had 41 tackles and 2 sacks on the season. His junior year, the Blue Golds were 4-6 on the season. Callan had 40 tackles with 4 TFLs and 2 sacks. His senior year, the Blue Golds were 5-5 on the season. Callan had 38 tackles with 6 TFLs, 3 sacks, and 1 pass interception. Callan graduated from UW-Eau Claire with a bachelor's degree in kinesiology with a minor in business. Callan then enrolled at Palmer College of Chiropractics in Davenport, Iowa. While at Palmer, Callan played on the school's rugby team. Callan earned his doctorate in 2015 from Palmer College. Today, Callan owns Trillion Spinal Care Clinics in Rochester, Minnesota, and Altoona. Callan is one of 300 chiropractors nationwide who are certified by the National Upper Cervical Chiropractic Association, or NUCA for short. NUCA is a specialized technique that aligns the upper cervical spine to improve health and function. Dr. Callan Stittelberg and his wife, Dr. Jordan Stittelberg, who is also a chiropractor at McNally Spinal Care in Toma, and their daughter, Elliot, reside in Black River Falls, and they are expecting their second child in October. Callan Stittelberg, Larry.
Oh, I didn't even know he was that close.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Yeah.
I knew he was a chiropractor somewhere, but
wow.
With his wife being in Toma, and right now, and they're talking about eventually her, I believe, going to work for him, because she is also certified in NUCA also. So
wow, how about that?
Yeah,
that's impressive stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
For him.
So you bet. So.
Wow, I knew he was a good football. I didn't know I forgot he was basketball and baseball. He was pretty
baseball,
good in those too.
Yeah, football, very good. Wrestling too.
The wrestling, I meant not basketball. Wrestling, yeah.
Very cut short by 2. His senior year, I think he would have been a state qualifier for sure, but he was cut short by an injury, shoulder injury.
Yeah, I heard you talk about the shoulder.
He did a nice job at UW-Eau Claire, and then I couldn't find any statistics on his rugby career at Palmer. Chiropractic colleges don't normally talk about their athletic prowess. So.
Rugby, interesting.
Yeah, but Callan is the kind of kid who would play rugby. So.
Yeah, you think with a shoulder like his, he would play rugby, but tough kid. Tough kid.
Absolutely.
All right, where are they now here today? WIAC football tonight. UW-Eau Claire in action.
Yep,
taking on Carroll University.
Yeah, I believe new coach too. I believe.
Yeah,
or
I think so.
Second year, is it?
Yeah, I know he's down there.
Yeah,
1 or 2 years.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, they're one of those teams that still trying to rebuild.
They have been trying to rebuild for a long time.
Yeah.
Probably they were. When Callan played, they were about 500 in the conference, but they just have never lately been able to get in that upper echelon with Whitewater, La Crosse, Oshkosh. Now River Falls and Platteville seem to be ascending to that. You know, where Point used to be up there. Point has went backward too. So Point and Eau Claire are the ones really struggling in the conference.
I'm sure it's the recruiting that's just
absolutely.
Tough to...
You know, I said, you know, you look at where some of these cities are. Okay, Whitewater always in excess to Milwaukee and Chicago. You know, La Crosse. You know, River Falls has access to the Twin Cities. Stout doing better because of that. You know, I think when you're by those bigger cities, it seems to help a little bit.
Yeah,
So,
all right, so that gets underway. But college football, the Division I, the big boys, they got into action last week in Wisconsin. How about the defense?
17-0. Is that the first shutout since 2017, I believe, or something like that?
Yeah, where did I read that here? Yeah, I had it here on my notes. There we go. First shutout. Yes, very good. Since 2022. It's the first time since 2017 that they've held an opponent under 150 yards without a third down.
Very stout defense. So, you know, a lot of players that I didn't know and I never heard the name of. But
Preston Zachman was named the Defensive Player of the Week.
Yeah, 2 pass interceptions, but their line looks bigger and faster.
Okay.
You know, Mr. Barton from Stratford's still right there in the middle of it.
Okay, well, good for him.
Yep. So but they look like they're faster at the linebacker spot. Offensively, I think they're a work in progress. It didn't help. You know, Billy Edwards went down early, but thankfully it just turned out to be a sprained knee. I doubt if he'll play this week against Middleton.
I don't think he's going to be, no.
But hopefully he's got, you know, maybe he's ready for the Alabama game next week. So,
you know, you watch Wisconsin play, and you're used to having that running game.
Yeah, it's just not there.
Not there much anymore.
They're
recruiting quarterbacks now.
Yeah, and they, you know, we talked about them putting up a wall, Barry Alvarez putting up that wall around the state of Wisconsin. And one thing that state of Wisconsin produced was offensive linemen.
Yes.
And that is not happening. Those guys seem to be going other places. Yep. And also the guys that they can talk about how experienced they are. They do not seem as well coached as they were in the past either. I don't know who the line coach is, but you look at some of the teams they had; they are not the same linemen.
And a lot of those guys went to the NFL.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of still a lot of them playing in the NFL.
Oh yeah.
You know, so when a guy like Mark Tauscher, and I'm not crumbing him by anything, he was a 1-year starter. He carved out how long of about an 8-9 year career in the pros. He was a 7th-round pick. And that's kind of typical of Wisconsin linemen right there. So,
yes. Also last week, the number 1 team in the nation lost to Ohio State. What a game, 14-7.
Yeah, exactly. And you read and everything. A lot of people consider the most valuable player in this game would be Matt Patricia. And, of course, Matt Patricia was a defensive coordinator, and he brought the whole NFL package. And they really looked like they had Arch Manning confused.
Yeah, I'm sure he never saw anything like that.
No. And then, of course, Ohio State has a tremendous – of course, they've got the defensive backs to pull it off, too.
Right.
You know, that's another thing. But, Arch Manning looked very confused. You know, and he probably won't see a defense like that the rest of the season. But they just had him looking real – the passes he threw weren't very good either.
Yeah, definitely had him confused. Texas is the first preseason number 1 to lose its opener in 35 years.
But, I said that and they did not defensively. I thought they played very well.
Yeah, they're a good defense.
Yeah, because Ohio State's got a new quarterback too this year.
Right.
And it didn't seem like they could get the ball in Smith's hands, Jeremiah Smith's hands, as well as they would like to, but. Who knows? But anyway, that made Ohio State leaped Penn State this week into the number 1 spot.
Now they're number 1.
Yep,
also last week, LSU taking down Clemson.
Yeah, and that bumped LSU way up, them all the way up to number 3.
So and they were number 9.
Yeah. And but and I was thinking, Miami with a win over Notre Dame, it boosted them too. So those ranked teams are the teams that are the way they would go, I think. So
and in fact, LSU's quarterback Garrett Nussmeier has now leapfrogged Archie Manning to become the Arch Manning. To become the new Heisman favorite.
Yeah, so
he was 28 of 38, 230 yards and a touchdown.
He looked pretty impressive. I watched a little bit of that game. Spot on. The guy who caught my eye was Carson Beck. Carson Beck used to play for Georgia.
I thought he was in the NFL. I didn't even know he played anymore.
I thought he'd been drafted and cut already, but
I saw him in there. I'm like, that guy looks familiar. Here's Carson Beck.
Started for the University of Miami, and they looked very impressive against Notre Dame.
Yeah, they did.
So
Notre Dame did come back in that game.
Absolutely. Notre Dame is going to be somebody that people are going to have to put up with this year. So we'll see what happens. So this week, not a lot of great matchups this week. So I had one matchup that I found between two ranked teams, and that was 15 Michigan, number 18 Oklahoma. But the one I got my eye on is South Florida against number 13 Florida.
Okay.
South Florida really took it to Boise State last week. So if I'm Florida, I would not be taking South Florida very lightly. So,
no. And one other one, Alabama lost last week to Florida State. You see where they fell to?
Yeah,
21st.
So
I think that's their lowest ranking they said in a long time.
And I'll tell you what, that just shows you what the portal does, Larry, because Florida State was a 2-10 team last year, and they went out and they really took it to Alabama. So, and I don't think Alabama was expecting that either. But the Florida State Stadium looked like it did when it used to be now. So
fans the school got fined. Did you hear that? The team or the students coming out of the field like they did. So,
one other matchup too is the Cyhawk matchup between Iowa State and Iowa.
Oh, that's this week?
Yep.
Okay.
That's a good matchup also.
All right.
So.
How about Lee Corso?
Yeah, last game is at
and picked 6 for 6.
6.
I guess from what I heard, I didn't see it when he did his things.
Yeah, I did either.
It was all the schools that he coached for.
Yes, absolutely.
And he won them all.
Yep.
So 3.5 million viewers on ESPN for that.
Probably the biggest game day ever, probably.
To assume, yes. But how about the Big Ten? You look at this top 25 poll, and the Big Ten is well represented.
Yeah, you got 3 teams in the top 6.
Yeah.
And then, of course, also Ohio State 1, Penn State 2, Oregon 6, and then you've got Illinois at 11, Michigan at 15, and Indiana at 23. So
how about Illinois?
Wow, they looked very good last week against, I believe it was Eastern Illinois, but which is not maybe the biggest test, but they look big and strong. They look like a Wisconsin team used to. Of course, you would with Brett Bielema coaching.
Right. Well, he's still there yet.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. South Carolina's in the top 10 in the regular season for the first time since 2013.
Yep.
South Carolina. They used to be pretty good.
Yeah, when Lou Holtz was coaching.
Yeah.
You bet. So.
All right. Let's switch to the NFL. Of course, that kicks off tonight with Philadelphia taking on the
Dallas
Parsons less Cowboys.
Yeah, I said, yeah.
Did that happen since we were on last week?
No, we didn't talk about it.
No.
Yeah, so, the Micah Parsons trade. Micah traded to Green Bay for 2 first-round picks in 26 and 27 and Kenny Clark. And Jerry Jones, this is like the Herschel Walker trade. Larry, this is not even close to the Herschel Walker trade. The Herschel Walker trade, they got 3 firsts and 3 thirds and 4 players. So for Herschel, and I believe Herschel Walker and 1 other player maybe. So,
yeah, right.
So this and Jerry Jones is really getting trashed for this. So, but
I don't understand why he would let him go.
I don't either. A defensive player like him, he's right up there probably with the Lawrence Taylors and people like that. That potential. He's not there yet. But
especially at his age.
At his age.
I mean, I would say if he was maybe 32.
Yeah. He's been in the league 4 years, and he's had over 12 sacks every year. Only one other player has done that, Larry, and that's Reggie White. So it just happens to correlate that Reggie White went to Green Bay, too. So.
And, by the way, Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre both won Super Bowls at age 27.
27, and Jordan Love is 27 this year.
There we go. There we go.
If you like the Moons, I think they're aligned. But, Kenny Clark was a great player.
Yeah.
But he was not a dominant player. He was not a dominant.
No.
He was a great player. And another thing that, I read the other day, too, Larry, Packers are always hesitant when it comes around to a guy's 3rd contract. And that's what Kenny Clark's next contract would be. Kenny Clark is a free agent at the end of this year. And
he's going to be
31.
31,
yeah. And that's a lot and 10 years in the defensive line is a lot of years. And the Packers very hesitant about that 3rd year.
Yeah.
And he would be looking for probably a 3-year deal worth a lot of money. And this way, they've got Parsons under contract for the next 4. And yes, they don't have first-round picks, but the Packers have not been a great first-round picking team.
And
anyway.
usually their first-round pick is late.
Yeah,
in the
very
first
late.
round.
Yeah, I said that's another thing.
Unless they trade up.
Yeah, Dallas is going to have 2 picks in the first round, but one is surely going to be probably 27, 28, if not lower.
Right.
So,
yeah.
And
The Packers have done better with the late round picks.
Yeah, absolutely. I said there is so much depth in the second, third, fourth, even fifth rounds this time.
And you got to pay those first round guys
absolutely
too.
So
Eagles and Cowboys tonight. Eagles blew them out twice last year.
That game is on NBC tonight.
Yep,
so
7:20 tonight.
And then tomorrow night you have Kansas City and the LA Chargers, and that is that Brazil game. And I believe that's on Prime.
It's on YouTube.
Oh, it's on YouTube.
Yeah.
Really? Okay. Okay, I didn't know about that. So, well, I can't watch it anyway.
Yeah.
So I'm busy.
Yes, we're busy. Any other games that stand out this weekend
well,
for that?
I had those as my third and fourth games of the week. My number one game of the week is Sunday night, and that's Baltimore and Buffalo.
Oh, yeah.
At Buffalo.
Yeah.
My number 2 game is the Detroit-Green Bay game.
Okay.
Which that'll be interesting. Micah Parsons been practicing all week. He should be,
yeah.
And he is also wearing number 1, Larry.
Number 1.
And he is the first Packer to wear number 1 since Curly Lambeau. So,
well, there's the moons are aligning all over the place.
I said, somebody said, well, he's going to get number 11. I said, I think Jaden Reed's going to get that up without a fight.
No.
But anyway, my number 3 game is the Dallas-Philly game. My number 4 game is the Kansas City LA Chargers. My number 5 game is San Francisco at Seattle. And my number 6 game is Minnesota at Chicago, and that is the Monday night game on ESPN.
That should be interesting.
Yeah.
See how the Vikings do with J.J. McCarthy.
Yeah, and then you're going to see what Ben Johnson has done with Caleb Williams.
Yeah,
so
right. Yep.
So
Packer game, by the way, on Sunday is a 3:25 kickoff on CBS.
Yes, yeah, interesting.
They got the big boys.
Yes.
Jim Nantz and Tony Romo.
And also, they're doing the pregame show live from Green Bay.
Really?
Nate Burleson, Coach Cowher. Who else?
They don't do that usually for a first game.
Yeah, Coach Cowher, Nate Burleson. I don't.
Is Phil Simms still on there yet?
No.
Or is it,
James Brown, maybe.
Oh yeah, yep.
And I forget who the 4. There's 4 of them.
So left-handed quarterback for the Bengals. Who was that guy?
Boomer
Esiason. Yeah.
So, I don't know. Matt Ryan is on there.
Oh yeah, I don't know. They got guys all over the place.
I don't know, but anyway, they're doing their pregame show live.
That's good.
Yeah,
that's kind of
neat.
cool.
Yep,
I don't think they've ever done that.
No.
Usually it's like the NFC.
Yeah, you don't
Championship.
see it. Yeah, it's usually NFC
or maybe Thanksgiving.
Yeah, or something like that, but very seldom. So.
Brewers going into what do they got this weekend?
They are going out to Pittsburgh for 3
Okay.
games, and then next week, Monday through Wednesday, they're at Texas. Freddie Peralta, NL Pitcher of the Month. Bryce Terang, NL Player of the Month. First time Packers have had the 2 of them like that in the same month.
Brewers
2008. Brewers 2008. Ryan Braun and CC Sabathia.
Ah, yes. Yeah, boy, I tell you, Peralta's pitching really well.
Month of August, Larry, 4-0, .32 ERA, 34 strikeouts in 28 innings. So
wow.
Terang had 10 home runs, and he had a 1.093 OPS.
Do you think Peralta's up there for Cy Young?
I think it comes to him and Paul Skeens.
Yeah, but Skeens,
the
record's just he doesn't have a record.
I think if Peralta gets to 21, he's 16-5 now.
Yeah.
He is starting today against Philadelphia, so hopefully we'll see what happens. But, if he gets to 20 wins, and his ERA for the season, Larry, is 2.58.
Yeah.
If you get 20 wins, your team is the best team in baseball.
You're under 3 with an ERA.
Yeah, I don't see how you can't not give
know.
him. But Paul, the national media loves Paul Skeens. But guess who's 0-2 against the Brewers? Paul Skeens.
Yes. He's got a low ERA, but his record is not. I don't think he has 10 wins.
No, I believe he's 9-9 last I heard.
That's not Cy Young.
Yeah. Anyway,
got about a minute left.
In his first 396 games, Bryce Terang had 19 home runs going into August. He hit 10 home runs in August.
I don't know where that came from.
I don't either, but he hits to all fields. And
yeah.
I think he's just one of those guys. Let the pitch do it for him. Just take it where it goes. So
yeah, he doesn't overswing. You just
it helps. He's got a pretty good lineup behind him too, so he sees a lot of good pitches too. So
things going well. Not many games left to go.
No.
Under 25 games to go in the season.
Yeah, they're sitting pretty good. About 5-game lead. And so
they're going to make the playoffs.
Absolutely.
Where they will be, we'll find out.
Yep. So.
All right, that'll do it for Two Guys on Sports for this week. Don't forget high school football tomorrow night. Neilsville Granton hosting Elk Mound on 92.7 WPKG. And Marshfield at Rice Lake tomorrow night. That one on 92.3 FM, WOSQ. Try and get your lottery ticket.
Yes,
See what
yes,
happens.
yeah.
That's Two Guys on Sports. I'm Larry Hazer.
I'm Dick Olson.
We'll talk to you again next week.